So I've been wondering if I should stop making these videos. Someone wrote on LinkedIn, there's so many people now trying to teach freelance translation. You find so many courses, so many webinars, so many people that offer to be mentors and that offer their own way of, how to become a successful freelance translator. And and they said, basically they've been coming out of the woodwork and, these people are basically charging a whole lot to try to teach you how to become a successful freelance translator and guaranteeing success and all that. And what the hell's going on? They're 100% right. This absolutely is what's happening. And this is 100% true. So this whole thing was brought to my attention because, a couple people forwarded this article to me, or this article. It's just a post that someone wrote on LinkedIn and started getting traction. And then some other people wrote similar things. And, because they're basically saying do you think they're talking about you or does this have something to do with you? And for all I know, it might. I have no idea if I'm one of the courses or something they came across. And I definitely have seen other people offering, courses, mentorships and webinars and what have you. And it's true. You see a lot of it being marketed, being sold, and people talking about it online on LinkedIn and other places. So, which got me to thinking maybe now there's kind of this market saturation of this whole thing. And so maybe I should just step back and not do it much because I'll just get confused in the crowd with all these other people. And then once they die down, then I can kind of get back into it or something along those lines. And so I wanted to go through this a bit. So first of all, like I said, this is 100% true. Why is this happening? Well, for the same reason, and I mentioned in another video, how there's market saturation because there's so many new translators coming onto the scene ever since 2020, all these new people working online and trying to be successful freelance translators. So it follows that where there's this high demand for becoming a freelance translator, suddenly there's all this supply, right? It's just economics. And all these people have noticed that all these others want to become freelance translators. So they're like, oh, I'll try to teach it. I'll try to show them. And they might have noticed also that there were these courses and they thought, well, I can teach a course. I can do it. And so they wanted to start teaching and offering their own courses and webinars. I don't know if I was meant to be part of this initial thing. That the person who wrote this initial post didn't include any names or anything. I might have, I might not. I don't know. I'm not too worried about it. And there are a couple of reasons for this. First of all, I've been doing this for years. For those of you who know, my first book came out in 14, 15, and my first course as well. And, so I've been doing this for a number of years now. My first YouTube video is from 2014, I think, on this channel. So, I've been doing this for a while. I'm not some Johnny come lately, and this is something that I take seriously, and I keep doing. My book has its third edition out. I update my course every year. It's something I take seriously. So that's why I'm not too worried about, looking like some guy who just appeared on the scene. Second of all, and I've mentioned this before in another video, I talk about how to identify scams and scammy courses out there is to try to research the person and look what other information they have there. And I know if someone researches me, they're going to find this YouTube channel. And I have literally hundreds of videos where I provide a bunch of information for free. And so I think my credentials are quite clear. If you look me up anywhere on mypros.com, LinkedIn, here, anywhere, you can see that I'm a translator and also that I'm very much into this. And I like providing information. I like discussing the translation world and, getting to know it better and sharing what I know with everyone else. And along those lines, also, teaching my courses and having my book out and stuff like that. So I'm not too scared about being confused with these other people providing these courses and stuff like that. I really don't think it's that much of an issue. Some people might confuse me, but if they do any research, I feel like my credentials are strong. So I'm not too worried about that. Secondly, what should I do about this? Well, and I've been wondering, should I just lay low and not do anything and wait for all this craziness to subside? Or should I do the opposite? And where I talked about the fact of market saturation for you translators, for those of you who are freelance translators and who are just starting out and trying to differentiate yourselves from the crowd, how do you do it when you have all these other translators coming out there? And I have another video where I talk about it. And I say, basically, you want to, be very professional, stand out from the crowd and keep persisting. And so maybe I should be doing this with my courses and my YouTube channel and stuff like that. But quite frankly, I won't, because first of all, first of all, my YouTube channel, like I said, I literally have hundreds of videos for a number of years. So good luck to any person coming out lately, to have more content than I do. But the main reason is, well, this isn't my main source of income, right? And that's the thing. I am a translator. Now it's my translation agency. That's my main source of income. That's what I concentrate most of my efforts on. And I do this kind of in my spare time. And so, quite frankly, it's not something that I'm going to dedicate a lot of time and energy and effort to, to try to build this up and make it something huge. And ironically, that's the issue. If someone does have a lot of time to build up their course and their channel and market it in all these professional ways and everything, I kind of start wondering, wait, is this their main way of making money, or is translation their main way of making money, right? And I've always talked about it. It's my main way of making money is still translation. And I like it that way, because that way I can make these videos and courses and talk about that life with the knowledge with that I'm still in the trenches there and still working on it. That's why I still do translations myself, even though I shouldn't really in terms of professional sense. But I like having my foot in the trenches there and still having the experience myself. I usually, I'm very selective when I do it. It's usually only old clients who've been grandfathered in, or if it's new clients, it's something like recently I did one that used SmartCat because I hadn't used SmartCat before, and I felt like it's something I should know a bit more about. So I actually did a job there. But anyway, I'm getting off track here. You have a lot of people offering all these courses. I have another video where I talk about how to identify scams and stuff like that. Check that video out. It was a couple videos ago. You'll find it. It will help here too, to identify who's a scam and who isn't. That's the thing. Other people coming out, they could have legitimate courses. I'm not only trying to push mine. There are other ones out there as well. In fact, I'll name a couple, Corinne McKay. I know she's been doing this for a while, and I've read her book. I don't know if it's her latest edition, but I know she has a good book out there. It's called How to Be a Freelance Translator. It has a name like that, similar to mine. She's legitimate, in case you're wondering about her. And there are other people that I'm sure are legitimate, other ones who maybe not so much, or maybe who are just trying to see if they can make some money off of it. And I think the best ways to figure that out is to see my other video about scams and then applying it to them and seeing if it works for them. Now, as for my situation, like I said, I'm not going to try to market myself too much, but I decided I'm not going to stop making these videos either. I enjoy making these videos. I don't think I'm going to be marketing my courses as much. I don't market them that much, frankly, to begin with. You're not going to see any YouTube ads or anything on my courses because I don't have them out. I basically talk about them here or, on the Facebook page I have or something like that. But that's pretty much all the marketing I do. So yeah, there's not much to change in that sense. I'm not going to stop what I'm doing, but I'm not going to grow it out either. Now, having said that, I do think that someone who has more motivation than I do, and someone smart could take advantage of this situation and could decide, okay, we have all these people offering courses, webinars, and things having to do with freelance translation. They could choose the best one out of these and create sort of an umbrella thing and call it, I don't know, Acme Translations, right? And then under this umbrella of Acme Translations, you have many different people offering different types of courses, for marketing or for content translation or whatever it might be. And, but that these have been vetted and approved and they're actually good. And in that way, if it's done well, people with their courses will want to be part of this umbrella. And so they'll actually try to make their courses better and everything. And that way you can offer better courses and better offerings for freelance translators. I think that could be a good idea and it could probably work out. I'm not going to do it. If you want to do it, please feel free. And if you want to discuss it, I'm happy to talk about it, but I'm not going to do it myself. I just don't have the time and the energy, quite frankly. But I do think that's true, that there are a lot of people out there. I don't think it applies to me at all. And I don't think it will necessarily affect the way that I keep doing my business. So all of that video is just to say not much is going to change on my part. But yeah, I did want to kind of update you on what you've probably been seeing, or at least, probably will see in the translation world on LinkedIn and online and stuff like that, and just bring your attention to it. But yeah, let me know if you've been noticing this as well, because I'm curious to see what you've been noticing and what you've been seeing. And otherwise, I will talk to you next time. Okay, thanks. Bye. Savidum.